penalties can trace CPCLJ1. I'm going to recite the classification of penalties under Article 25 of the RPC, the scale of principal and accessory penalties, the duration of penalties under Article 27, the successive service of sentences under Article 70 of the RPC, and the meaning of the complex crime under Article 48. Okay. Number 1. The classification of penalties under Article 25 of the RPC. First is the principle provided by law for a felony and which is imposed by the court expressly upon conviction. Number 2, accessory, deemed included in the imposition of the principal penalty under principal deemed included in the imposition of the principal penalty. Next is the principal penalties. Capital punishments, death, afflictive penalties, the reclusion perpetua, reclusion temporal, perpetual or temporary absolute disqualification, perpetual or temporary special disqualification. And next is the prisión mayor. For the correctional penalties, prison correctional, arresto mayor, suspension, and destierro. For the light penalties, arresto minor, public censure, penalties common to the preceding classes, fine and ban to keep peace. And next is for the duration of penalties of Article 27, the reclusion perpetua is 20 years and 1 day to 40 years. The reclusion temporal, 12 years and 1 day to 20 years. The prison mayor and temporary disqualification is 6 years and 1 day to 12 years. years, except when the penalty of disqualification is imposed as accessory. As an accessory penalty, in which case its duration shall be that of the principal penalty. Next is the prison correctional, suspension and destierro, 6 months and 1 day to 6 years, except when the suspension is imposed as an accessory penalty, in which case each duration shall be that of the principal penalty. Next is the arresto mayor, 1 month and 1 day to 6 months. Next is the arresto minor, is 1 day to 30 days. band to keep peace, the band shall be required to cover such period of time as the court may determine determined as amended by section 21 of the RA number 7659. And next is the successive service of sentences. Under the Article 70 of the RPC, the penalties in the order of severity and for the purpose of successive service of sentences have the following scale. Number 1, death. RA number 9346, signed into law on June 24, 2006, and prohibited the imposition of the death penalty. Number 2 is the reclusion perpetua, free reclusion temporal. Next is prison mayor, prison correctional, arresto mayor, arresto menor, distero, perpetual absolute disqualification, temporary absolute disqualification, suspension from the public office, public censure. Tama ba? Next is the complex crimes, compound crime and complex crime proper. When a single act constitutes 2 or more grave or less grave felonies, or when an offense is a necessary means for committing the penalty for the most serious crime shall be imposed, to be applied its maximum period. Under Article 48, it speaks of 2 types of complex crimes. The first is when the single act constitute 2 or more grave or less grave felonies, and number 2 is when an offense is a necessary means of committing the other complex crime proper and or delito complejo. Article 48 is not applicable in case of special complex crimes specifically provided for the RPC, like robbery with homicide or rape or with arson. It applies only when no specific penalty is stated in the law. Yes. Thank you.